Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan
And Angela.
from R&A Music.
We're both wearing shirts.
You have an R&A shirt on.
I do. It was on the thing in the bed, so I was like, well, I'll just put that.
I also have an R&A shirt. If you want an R&A Music shirt, go check out our Teespring store in the description below. Shameless plug.
No, it's not.
It's not really. Welcome to Ask R&A. This is the show where Angela and I answer your questions.
Yes.
Your questions from you, the public. So you guys are the ones picking the questions.
That's right.
Not us.
Not us.
So we're going to answer some of y'all's questions right up in here right now. Right quick in a hurry.
Uh-huh.
Let's get to it. Alrighty. Well, we already shamelessly plugged our store. Oh, I need to put up a picture.
It's not a shameless plug.
It's not. Walking Dead sent us a picture of him in his R&A shirt. Thank you, sir. If you would like to send us pictures of you in your R&A Music shirt, you can shoot them to our email, rnamusic@live.com, or send them to us on Facebook, Instagram, whatevs. We'd love to see them.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's get to the first question. First question, Dr. Waco Barbie. I think it's Waco Barbie.
Sure, why not?
Could be. He says, what happens if you mess with Texas? Excellent question, Dr. Barbie.
Mess with Texas.
Don't you dare take the name of Texas in vain.
You mean I can't say anything about dumb old Texas?
No, you can't. Can I say plants from Texas or no?
Can I say shoes from Texas?
You can't say nothing about Texas. Well, Dr. Barbie, if you mess with Texas, you get the horns. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. No, but really though, if you are a repeat offender messing with Texas, you can get up to a $2,000 fine.
True.
And $180 days in the pokey, which is jail. So if you repeatedly mess with Texas, it's going to cost you at least $2,000 and 180 days in the prison system.
Minimum $500.
Minimum of $500.
Yeah.
First time offenders, it's only $500 it's going to cost you to mess with Texas.
Yes.
If you're a repeat offender, $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 months of jail time.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
That's not fun.
I don't recommend it.
Not in Texas jail.
That's just if the law catches you.
Law dog.
If the Texas law dogs, if Walker Texas Ranger catches you mess with Texas,
You get a roundhouse kick to the face.
you get off easy because he's a lawman. But if a random Texas dude catches you, you might get a mud hole stomping.
Boot in the butt.
you might get stomped a new mud hole.
Or a very stern Facebook post about you.
Yeah.
That will definitely happen.
You'll have a ton of bad luck too.
Yeah, it's like breaking a mirror.
Yeah, it's like Paul.
It's like walking under a ladder, holding a black cat while stomping on mirrors. You just don't want to mess with Texas.
Yeah. Paul is always sassing Texas.
Always sassing.
And you know who has a humongous string of bad luck?
Paul A. DeJaro.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there you go. Great question. Thank you. Next question, Cam Duman. Hello, Cam Duman. He says, #what a burger. He says, so long time no talk. Hope all's well with my favorite mom and pop shop from Canton, Texas. My question this time around is, what tips would you give to someone trying to maybe join a bigger church worship band? I love doing worship with my wife in our small little church, but a buddy of mine said they're showing interest at auditioning another guitarist.
Yes.
Where
are they from again?
I'm not 100% sure.
I can't remember.
I cannot remember either. You may have to remind us, Cam Duman. Where are you?
Yeah.
All right. So
what would you recommend that they do? Because you have auditioned for a large...
I have auditioned for
a megachurch.
A megachurch before. they were intimidated by my prowess.
Yes.
But so we talked about that this morning. Actually, I showed Angela your question
during our breakfast.
Our breakfast, as we were having brekkie.
We were talking about you.
You know, it's probably a lot like any audition for any type of gig. I would, of course, you want to be able to play your instrument. Correct. So that's sort of a give me. Like, you should be able to play your guitar.
Right.
Like, reasonably well. All of your open chords, be able to play some simple leads.
Yes.
You know, be able to play in multiple keys without a capo.
Yes.
Capo is, you know, they have their place, but, you know, you got to be able to play at least, you know, all your major minor chords in every key, you know, key of E, key of A, key of G, key of D, key of C, key of F, all your sharp, most of your sharp keys. You know, without a capo, you should be able to play.
Right,
you know?
right.
Bigger places, they will give you probably, you know, a song list. Like, okay, here's the songs. You know, prepare them. You know, be super prepared. Know the song inside out, backwards and forwards. Yeah. Memorize it. Yeah. So when you show up to the audition, it's like, okay, time to go. You're not reading off a chart necessarily.
Right.
But I think that's kind of the gimme. Like, a lot of people can play. Like, lots of people can play. There's a lot of people who don't play very well. There's also a fair share of people who can kind of play. Right. You do run across that, particularly smaller churches, where it's like, hey, we just need warm bodies that can move strings or drums or whatever. But you know, bigger places, I think having your attitude right has a lot to do with it. Because if you come in to audition, you should know how to play, but they're probably going to be like testing you, like throw you some curveballs, like, oh, hey, this key isn't really working. Let's change keys. All right, we can go to another key, just to see how what your attitude's like. You know, if you're like, oh man, well, I only learned it in this key. Well, can we play it in this key? Right. If you get a little defensive about or stressed out about something like that, you know, you ought to be able to go, cool. Okay, we want to do it in C. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Right. So the attitude is a lot. I think, because most bigger churches, you know, and a lot of churches, and even just bands, like, I have friends who play in like cover bands, like gig in bars and stuff, and we talk, and they're like, oh man, I joined this band and everybody was so unprepared, and the drummer got mad if something didn't happen, and it was just like attitudes. So that's no different whether it's I think a worship church band or any band. You know,
it's about the same.
Be prepared, have a great attitude, be flexible, and if you have to be flexible, if things change, you gotta, you know, they throw you a curveball. Be cool about it. Like, if you don't like, oh man, like, roll your eyes.
And I think a big part of especially worship bands, because there's gigging bands and then there's worship bands, because I've been with worship teams that have guys who gig on them, and they are the worst band members, because you're a worship team. You're not at Johnny's Five and Dime playing, you know, honky tonk music. You are on a worship team. So if your mindset is understanding that this is a worship team, that this is setting the mood for a time of worship, that is huge, because so many people don't understand that. And then it turns into a performance. There are a lot of worship team bands out there. They're really great, but they're just performers. There is no...
there's
no anointing there whatsoever. And then there are some that are really great. I would also add, so keeping that in mind, is that it's not just a gig. It's a ministry. If you have that in mind, and if you understand that, I think your attitude will line up with that. I think what gets people in trouble is that they treat it more like a gig than they do it about an actual worship thing, because you're not, you know, this isn't your time to make it big. This isn't your make it or break it moment. And some people treat it that way because worship has turned into such a huge industry that people think they're going to be the next Carrie Job. And some of you are like, I have no idea who that is, and that's okay.
Or Chris Tomlin.
Or David Crowder, or, you know, whomever. Mercy Me. Some of y'all have seen the movie I Can Only Imagine, and you know who Mercy Me is. But you know, some people you're not going into a worship audition with that in mind. You shouldn't go into a worship audition with that in mind. And so many people do go into worship auditions with that in mind because they want to be the next Elevation Worship, the next Bethel, the next Hillsong, the next Jesus Culture. They want to be the next, whatever, Passion,
Casting Stones.
Casting crowns. You don't want in that, keeping that in mind. But also on the technical aspect of it, I think that being prepared in many genres or many groups, because there's so many people that all they listen to is a certain group, a certain style, worship wise, and most churches evolve over the years when it comes to styles of who they listen to and who their worship pastor goes to a conference and they get inspired because Jesus Culture is there and they're like, what? I didn't know worship music could be like this. Yeah. And then they come back and they want to influence their style of praise and when they come back to church. So I think being open to many different styles, not necessarily have them all prepared, but just even having knowledge of many different groups like Passion. Chris Tomlin did a lot through Passion because it's Louis Giglio's ministry. Bethel, they're doing a lot now. You'll even hear Bethel on the radio now when you didn't even just 5 years ago. Hillsong is huge. Hillsong is where it's at. Yeah. Worship music today is because of Hillsong. Contemporary worship music today is because of Hillsong. But people like that, Elevation Worship, that's Stephen Furtick's church. Just many people just keeping like a broad understanding of, oh yes, I have heard of that. So you can be prepared to move in that fashion or move in that style of worship music when it comes along. And I think even going back to the gigging aspect of it, if you're even just a dude that wants to go out and gig, having a broad spectrum repertoire of songs is good for you, going from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, going from country, pop, rock, pop rock, funk, soul, no matter what it is, having a broad understanding of that kind of music does you better. It opens up more doors of opportunities for you, and I think it just makes you a better rounded musician instead of saying, no man, I'm rock all the way, or no, I'm nothing but country for me.
I only play this.
Well, then you're gonna pigeonhole yourself, just like actors. You can't see them in anything else. Daniel Radcliffe is a great example because he will always be Harry Potter, no matter what he's in. He can't outrun Harry Potter. Because it's his shirt that he's wearing on fire. His skin's on fire. Harry Potter, he cannot outrun it. But you don't want to do that as a musician. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself into a place where you can't not only grow in your, ability to gig, but also grow in your ability to play in different, techniques and stuff. So that's what I would recommend, broadening your.
Yeah. I think more than anything else, it has to do with show up with a great attitude. Because, again,
and prepared.
Being prepared, that should be a given.
Be prepared.
You should be 100% prepared. 100%. Play whatever they need you to play in your sleep, behind your, one hand time behind your back. But more than that, have a great attitude.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could be a great player and you have a kind of so-so attitude. Not even a bad attitude, just an average attitude.
Yeah, apathetic.
That's not what they... Because they've already had that, I guarantee you.
Prideful. Oh, yeah. That always comes through a worship team.
There you go, man. There you go. Thanks for the question. Good to have you back. Next question, Kevin Featherstone. Or Kevin Feathers Tone. Feathers Tone. What do you think of the Synergy preamps? I've always loved preamps into a power amp. My 2019 rig is currently the Synergy Syn 1 half-space rack running into the orange pedal baby. Love your channel. Keep making the videos.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kevin Featherstone. Appreciate that, man. I never played through one. I had to kind of go look it up. I'm like, oh, okay. There's several videos out there. Ola England's got one. The other guy. Oh, man.
That person?
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. I watch his videos. He's like a session. Pete Thorne. Came to me. Pete Thorne's got a good video.
I believe you.
Yeah, so all I've seen is just videos about it. I've never been one to too much do a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm just like plugged directly into an amp,
right.
kind of thing. I was talking today with a guy plays with my friend Steven in a worship band. We were talking about pedals and having huge pedal boards, like as some worship guitar players do. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't need that. I just plug into the amp. I mean, I've got built-in reverb and some built-in delay, but I'm like, I don't need the space shuttle at my foot tips, my tippy toe tips to like play foot tips, fingertips, my toe tips, my finger toe tips.
This doesn't sound right.
Whatever. But I'm more of like, let's plug into the amp kind of guy. So I've not ever really used much of that in my life. So looks like a pretty cool thing. If you're loving it, then awesome. That's what matters. If you're getting the tones you want out of it and you're enjoying it, great. I'll have to go watch some more. I got beard in my face.
Imagine
how that happened. I'll have to go watch some more videos and kind of check it out. But yeah, if any of you other guys or gals watching have experience, please leave a comment below about what you think about preamps. So there you go. Thank you for the question, Kevin. Welcome to the channel.
Yes.
Glad you're here. Please stay around.
Thank you.
Next question. Just fun guitar from the mother country.
Yes.
So great episode. New questions. 1, what do you think young people make of this play authentic? Do they even know or care about that message? What does Nicholas and Aiden make of this topic as young people? Completely uninfluenced? Question mark. 2, how many folks under 25 come into your store saying they care about authentic brands and want to pay a premium for them? Do you think they are doing this in that age range in other stores? Hashtag what a burger. Okay, that's kind of the same question wrapped up in once. What do you think, Angela? You're here as much as I am.
Yeah. I don't think anybody cares as much as people who have, like Ryan, who have had a guitar brand, a certain guitar brand for a long period of time, or has grown up with a certain person playing a certain guitar brand for a certain period of time. I have not seen a single kid come in here. It's mostly men over the age of 35. I would say even older than that. I would say over the age of 37, 38, mid 40s that actually come in. Do y'all carry...
And up.
Do y'all carry... everybody else is like, I've never been here. It's pretty cool. What's this? You know, it's literally,
you know, Fender guitars.
No one really asks. They're like, ooh, what's this? This looks pretty. This looks cool. This is cool. This is cool. That looks cool. And they'll pick up anything from our CMGs to, you know, it doesn't matter what that is.
Dude came in the other day just to test drive some bolas.
Yes, if it looks good in their eyes aesthetically, are they going to look cool holding it? Do they look legit holding it? Most teenage guys are like that. It's just like buying a truck or a car. Am I going to look cool in it? You know? And so I don't think that they actually care. I really don't. Unless they've grown up with another musician that is the age, in that age gap.
Yeah, their dad is like a diehard Fender guy.
If they were like, yes, I remember seeing my grandpa play a, you know, Gibson or a Fender or a Dean or whatever. Like unless they've seen it in their home, or my grandpa had this Martin, it was nice, it was really nice, and they know what it is. Most of the time they were like, yeah, my grandpa had some kind of guitar, I don't know, it was like those big ones with a hole in it.
Yeah, that's
what I hear that more often. Or moms will come in there like, I don't know, he likes the kind that you plug in. Is that an acoustic? I'm like, well, no, because acoustic actually, you know, that.
Well, you have acoustics you can plug in.
I know, but still, acoustic means, you know, the set. Right. Like, but so a lot of people, they have no idea even the difference between acoustic or electric, let alone I need a Gibson blah 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 or a Fender blah 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 blah. So no, I don't think. That is the case. I don't think I know my kids don't give two hollers and a hoot about.
They don't give a rat's patootie.
They don't about. Do you care? Nicholas is sitting over here texting. Do you care about name brand guitars?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
What they
kind
do
of bass
care,
do you play?
Checker.
Schecter.
Yes, but they do care about, electronics and little things, things like that. They do care about what kind of gaming system that they play and stuff like that. But honestly, even that, they're like, is it a cool game?
Yeah.
That they're not caught up in that. And I don't think we really have a lot of kids under the age of 25 that come in here enough for us to get a good gauge.
We have all
a lot
of
of
students.
Parents. Yes.
We have a lot of students. We have a lot of kids under 25 that come.
Yeah, but not just to come in here to guitar shop.
Right.
Most of the people that come in, they usually have their grandma and grandpa in here. He's looking for some kind of guitar. Do y'all carry those? Yeah. He's been bugging me about getting a guitar. That's usually what it is. Yeah, if the
question is, what do young people think of it? So if you're thinking like 15 and under, or for sure,
yeah,
it's like they don't care. They don't care. Like I sold a guitar the other day to one of my students. It's a Fire Tone, which is a brand new brand you've not ever heard about,
right?
Because it's just a guy I know in Louisiana who's it's budget guitars, and he kind of started his own brand and orders them, and like no one's ever heard of him. I sold one because my student was like, that one's pretty, I want it. She didn't give a look at the label.
2 Deuce and a Hollow.
Like
That's
what?
right.
What's the name on the headstock? She didn't care. It's like, what did the guitar look like? What did it feel like?
That's all that matters to her.
Yeah.
Or him. Almost all the time. They're like, that's pretty. What is that? I like the way that looks. Ooh, that's a nice color. We have parents sit in here, and that's usually what they say. Oh, that's a pretty color.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They like the colors.
They don't even look at the name. It's not even... It's like, shirts that get printed. Like, you think, I like the RNA shirt, but you don't know what kind of shirt it is.
Is that a Gildan?
Like,
is it a
what kind of
Hanes?
shirt is that? You're like, ooh, I like what that says. So even aesthetically on T-shirts, a lot of times we're like, I love that shirt. That's an amazing shirt. What does it say? You don't go, hold on, let me check the back.
You check the tag.
Oh, it's a Hanes. Never mind.
Where was that made? Was that?
I don't buy
was that
Hanes.
made in Mexico or
I really like what it
Vietnam?
says though, but I don't buy Hanes. We don't say that. So that's generally what most people like. The other day I was wearing a pair of jeans that I got at a store, and one of the moms was like, I love those jeans. Those are cute. I like the way they look. She'd ask me, what brand are those? Because no one cares.
Yeah. We really don't care about any of that stuff. In most of our everyday life, like nobody, I mean, maybe people care a little bit about their shoes. Like I got Nike shoes, I got Under Armour shoes, or like,
Right.
To a certain point,
Asics and
maybe,
stuff like that. Yeah.
but no one cares about like, not that many people care
But even though,
about their clothes.
like someone was wearing some shoes I say the other day, it was probably like last year, and I was like, those are some cute shoes. Where did you get them? She's like, Walmart. It's like, shut up. What? She was like, yeah, and they're the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn in my life.
Oh, those flip flops you got.
Well, yeah,
sandals.
these
Yeah,
Walmart.
Like 2 weeks ago.
No, but these were like and it was crazy. The little wave on the side almost was Nike-esque. So at first glance, I thought she was wearing Nikes, and I looked down and was like, those are not Nikes. What are where'd you get those? Those are adorable shoes. And she was like, Walmart. Okay. Because what caught my eye is what it looked like, not the fact that they were, the brand.
Chris, I think, and part of your other question is like, I think people that care about that stuff, there are people who do.
Yeah.
Right? And our audience there's a lot of 30, 40,
do.
50, 60-year-old guys watching our channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that demographic, at my age, it's like we grew up, it's like Fender Gibson PRS. Those are the real guitars. Everything else, nothing else is a real guitar.
Yeah.
And that's just how we grew up, right? But how we grew up and how we view the industry is not how the current generation coming up views it.
Yeah.
They care less and less and less about that. And to be honest, I think even my age and above, I think all of us are starting to care less and less.
Yeah. But I think even the generation like with us, we were TV people, up and older, or like the TV generation where everything was product placement. Mm-hmm. And we didn't understand any better. So we relied on Johnson & Johnson, all these different Coca-Cola, these people that were like always in our face. We relied on them to give us the products that they said that we needed. So we grew up in a generation of products that were like, no, these are the household products. This is what we use, brands. Well, as we get on to the next generation of kids, they're like, no, we just eat Walmart brand. We don't even use name brands. They don't even care. To the point where their movies and video games and everything are so overly sad that it's like a joke of product placement because they don't care. So now, like, even on that video, we have a video where they're like, how much product can we squeeze into this? Because they were laughing about the Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah.
Like, how much product placement
how many
can
product,
we put
yeah, how many deal brand
and
deals
they name them
land?
off so much because that generation, and he's probably early 30s.
Yeah.
And younger are like, yeah, it's so ridiculous. Like, we even care because they don't. It's become a joke to them. But us, an older product, name, brand is very important.
We still care.
Because we have been programmed that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Now this, I was thinking of something earlier about, like, I think this will be the hot topic of the day. Mm-hmm. Question of the day for you guys and girls. It's like, do you guys and girls care about guitar brands? Mm-hmm. I don't think you do. Because I know a lot of people who watch this. I know a lot of people who've bought guitars from us that own, they own a Fender. Yeah, they own a Gibson. But they also own a slew of other brands of guitars.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even guys in their 50s and 60s, like, they own Ibanez and they own, Schecters, and they own, they also own brands that have popped up in the last 5-10 years. And so, they own some of those core, PRS, Fender, or whatever, but they also own a bunch of other guitars.
Right.
And so I don't think that they're not just, I only buy Gibsons. I think that guy who only owns Fenders or only owns Gibsons, I think that guy is going away.
Right.
But do you guys care? And furthermore, do you even care where it's made? Do you care? Because I don't think people care that much anymore. It used to be like, oh, I only play USA guitars. And now it's like, if it's a good guitar, it's a good guitar. I don't care. Yeah, well. So you guys let us know what you think about that. Do you care about brand? And do you care about country of origin?
Right.
In the guitar market. We don't care about it anywhere else. So why do we care about it on guitars? I always find that interesting.
I know I don't.
Well, I do. Thank you, Just Fine Guitar. Next question, Stephen Scharf. Question, is Robin guitars still being made in Texas? I used to like them, always wanted one, but can never find one. Remember, hamburgers always have to have bacon and barbecue sauce. Lettuce and tomato pickle on top.
I don't know about barbecue sauce.
I don't know about BBQ sauce. I'm hungry for a burger now. Dang it. Yes. Steven?
Yes.
Is Robin guitar still being made in Texas? I never even heard of Robin guitars.
I was looking at you for that one.
I was like, what's Robin guitar? Apparently Stevie Ray Vaughan played them, and Jimmy Vaughan played some, and they had some big name players, apparently, way back in the day. Obviously not for very long.
Yeah.
Because
still,
when people think of Stevie Ray Vaughan, nobody thinks
Robin
guitars. It's Fender. Right? Well, I had to look it up, Steven.
I could not tell you.
And I don't know that their website, like, there's two websites. And it seems like the newer main website is like, hey guys, coming soon, we're going to be building guitars again in the USA. Right. Kind of like, hey. So I had trouble finding any information. Right. It doesn't look like they're currently active production. Even like on Facebook, there's a Facebook page, but there ain't nothing on it.
Well.
So I'm like,
Are they an older company?
Like 82?
That's probably why.
Been around since 82.
Which is sad.
Yeah, that they're not into the media marketing, I guess. Yeah. That's probably why I've never heard of their brand. I'm like, no. But it's a sister company to Rio Grande Pickups that we talked about the other day. I'm like, I've heard of Rio Grande Pickups.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Robin guitars. So, I don't know. There are some used ones, though. So, I mean, you said you could never find one. You could probably never not find any brand new ones. But it looked to me like there were used ones for sale online, Reverb, other places.
Are they pretty?
I didn't think so. Okay. They didn't appeal to me. Some of them were kind of weird looking. But,
I'm just going to go over here.
That's just me.
Drink my tea.
So,
I don't know about that.
It's unclear. It was not clear immediately to me whether they're... I'm not going to call them and go, hey, you guys making guitars?
Yeah.
But there's
Why not?
There's the phone. Well, because I don't really want to know. Steven wants to know.
Okay.
Steven, call the phone number on their website and ask them.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then tell us.
And then tell us. Yeah, I called them. They're making them. Or, no, not yet. It didn't look like it from their website. So, there you go. Any of you guys ever played a Robin guitar? Or seen one in the real world?
And what's this about barbecue sauce on a hamburger?
I don't know. Some people like that. Thanks for the question, Steven. Appreciate it, man. Final question, Tracy Johnson. Hi, Tracy. Says, I have a good question. I hope, comma. Ryan and Angela, with all this Gibson soap opera, does or will it hurt the small shops? Have you ever had a child who acted up while you tried to teach them music? And what did you do if so?
That pendulum swung.
Well, it was a really long paragraph.
Okay.
And I had to I cut and pasted so I could get right to the questions.
Speaking of small shops, that was the segue.
That was yeah. So,
gotcha.
Because it was a lot of paragraph.
Oh, okay.
So,
Good job.
Save the trees. Will it hurt the small shops? Nah.
No.
It's not gonna hurt. He was talking about there's some Dean dealers, who are like, no, I don't keep selling Dean.
Right.
That was the part that I kind of cut out of there. But I'm like, nah, it's not going to hurt them. If anything, it's helping all the Dean dealers. And there are people going out, I'm going to go buy me a Dean.
If anything, it's going to, because it's so expensive to carry, if they can get all of theirs off the shelf, they might be able to save their shop. Because a lot of brands are just too expensive. And a lot of shops go out of business because they carry too many expensive brands.
Yeah. Most small shops, what I consider a small shop, isn't carrying Gibson.
No.
Anyways, it's just you're going to drop $80,000 to become a dealer. It's crazy. So it's not going to hurt them. I don't think. And if one brand can make or break your store, you're doing it wrong.
Yep. Truth.
You
don't put all your chips in.
You're absolutely doing it wrong.
That's some bad poker.
Yeah, that's not good. So I don't think it's going to hurt them, Tracy. If anything, I think it's going to help the small shops.
If it does, they were already struggling.
Yeah, if it does, they weren't going to make it anyways.
Correct.
So. All right. Have we ever had a child who acted up while we're trying to teach them music? And what did you do if so?
See, I grab them by the... No, I'm just kidding.
Are you though?
You
want to go first?
Yeah. I've had, not acted up, I've had bad attitudes. I don't necessarily think of that as acting up where they temper tantrum.
They threw something,
right, or screamed or anything like that. I've had some pretty gnarly, yes, I have had a few eye rolls. And then how I handle it is I turn on my mama voice and I slow things down and I look them directly in the eye and I said, if you do not stop wasting my time, we are ending this now and you're not going to get to come back because I don't like my time wasted and I know your mama doesn't want her money wasted. So are we going to do this right or do we have to shut things down? So that's usually how I handle it. And then and then we get it going. And of course, mom and dad are sitting, 10 feet away and they hear it. And I'm purposeful about it because I do not like my time wasted. We've had plenty of children in here. We've had plenty of kids that are waiting to get in here and that some of them can't afford to get here. And this kid is wasting a time slot that some kids dream about having. Not because we're doing it, but because they just want to learn music, and I do not like my time wasted at all. Mm-mm. If I'm going to waste my time, it's going to be how I want to waste my time. I'm wasting my time on my terms. Doing something that's, more fun than putting up with the attitude. But that's usually how I handle it. I stop things and slow things down, just like how I handle my kids. And I talk to them, and I'm like, listen, I know your mama doesn't want, or your daddy, or your grandmother, whomever is paying, because we know them. And I apply whoever it is to the kid. And I was like, listen, this is something that if you do better, and then I encourage them and usually turn it around by the end of the 30 minutes. They're usually smiling and they're like, yes, ma'am, and they get their act together and come back with fully practiced, fully ready to get it done. Because then mom and dad get mad at them for wasting my time and wasting their money.
And usually when you come out of the lesson, you're like, Mom, we had a little bit of an attitude problem today, and I had to tell them.
Yes, we did.
Like in front of the kid, and the kid's like,
"Oh, I didn't realize you were going to actually call me out in front of mom and dad." I'm like, "Oh."
And usually the mom and dad are like, "What? They did what?
Are you kidding me?
Go get in the car."
Or they're looking at him like, "I can't believe you just embarrassed me in front of this woman." You know, because it is embarrassing for the parents. Because I know it is for me.
Yeah,
to
my
be
kid
called out like my kid's being a total dingbat. You know, so we've usually said, calmed him, stopped it, asserted authority.
Yeah.
You know, and said, you wouldn't do this in your math class. You wouldn't do this in, for athletics. You talk to your
principal this way?
For your coach, Oh,
yeah. And the coach card is always good.
The coach card is always good because coaches will scream at you, Where we won't do that. I usually drop it down. And whenever my voice comes from high, happy to... This is now my normal voice. My happy teaching voice is over. Now you got Mama Angela, Lala's voice coming in. The temperature of the room changes drastically, and they usually calm down quite a bit. And I love on them and stuff, but give them encouraging words and everything.
Yeah, not very often. Usually it only takes about one time of like, hey,
that's it.
Listen to me. Don't talk to me like that way. I'm your teacher. Listen, like, don't do that again. And I've done that too, where it's like, okay, we're going to end this lesson right now. If you do that again, you're going to go out there and you're going to sit down. You're not going to go home. You're going to go sit out there in the waiting room until your mom gets back or your dad gets back. If the parent's not here,
right?
Sometimes the parents sit in the car. Sometimes like, I'm going to go run to Walmart. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and they drop them off.
And it's like, you're going to sit and wait. It usually only takes about one time of being firm and asserting who you are. Yes. Your authority. Just to remind them.
It's very few and far between.
Extremely few and far between.
But I think here lately we've had more back-to-back kind of students with a little bit of an attitude because we are so fun and we love to laugh and we're very lighthearted and we're very kind and we're easy to talk to, and kids are and they let down their guard so much they forget that it's still a teacher-student relationship. And then the kids who obviously have issues with their mouth and their attitude at home or at school, they think that now, because we've established this comfort, that it's time to step over the lines.
What were you saying? I can't remember. The battery died. You were like in the middle of I
can't remember.
Laying the smack down. Oh, kids were getting too comfortable because we're so nice.
Yes, and then they step over the line, and then we have to kind of just reel it back in and remind them, like, listen, wait. But again, like Ryan said, it's very few and far between. But yeah, that's usually how we handle it. And we've only had to fire one student.
Only fired
twice.
One.
Actually, two. We've had 2 kiddos. And it was like, I think it's time for them to maybe take a break because they're too young.
Just come out and tell them, they need to take a break. They're not ready for this.
Yeah, because it gets to the point, a lot of times with especially, and I think it's with anything that kids are involved in, that parents think that they are going to just get it. And, and the kid they don't realize how hard music really is and the kind of dedication it takes to become an even halfway decent musician. Just that kind of knowledge and holding on to exactly. Just holding on to that kind of knowledge and then applying it and keeping it for that specific area, because you're really not going to use it in any other area other than the discipline of it. So, and most parents don't get that. So then they bring kids in who have no discipline whatsoever and no maturity level whatsoever and expect them to sit and listen to something that is completely out of their wheelhouse. And so we'll get a few of them that are like, they're in there and they're like, oh God, is this over yet? Is this over? Like, is this over? And it's like, okay, maybe this isn't for you just yet. Maybe you need to experience junior high. You need to experience, a coach. You need to experience, an art teacher, a music teacher, or a choir teacher, so you can hear and see that we're not making this stuff up. This takes dedication. Anything that's worth doing takes dedication.
Yeah, it does.
And discipline. So
a lot of people know. They just think, I'll just pick up a guitar and whatever.
Yes.
It's like, that's not how it works.
And YouTube has ruined it for a lot of people who do private lessons of any kind. That includes gymnastics, that includes sports, that includes anything, because they see these kids that are in other parts of the country or other parts of the world that this is all they do. Like, all they do. Case in point, like Brianna. If Brianna was on YouTube and she played all the time on YouTube, and some kid in, Utah saw a video of Brianna, they're like, I want to take drum lessons because that girl can play drums. Well, you don't realize that Brianna lived and breathed drums.
That's all she did.
That's all she did. She woke up drums all the time. She wasn't a cheerleader.
You're not going to sign up for drum lessons and practice 30 minutes a week and be that.
And be her. No. And most parents don't get that. And then they have their kid involved in softball, basketball, choir, gymnastics,
karate,
junior league, 4-H, and then right underneath the radar, yes,
jiu-jitsu,
whittling, pottery making, glass blowing,
chainsaw art,
guy sculpting, Japanese handwriting, oh my gosh.
Origami
lessons, opera vocals, and then they're like, and take guitar too.
Let's learn guitar.
But I want you to master it. Why aren't you mastering it?
Like, how many hours is your kid having a day?
I know. It's like, did you find a wormhole somewhere that no one knows about? Are you in league with CERN? I don't understand what is happening here.
You're going to say Satan.
Same thing.
Satan.
But it's like, and then we get these kids in and they're just like, and we're like, okay, listen.
We've had some come. They're so wiped out from school.
I've had kids fall asleep.
They're like,
I've had kids fall asleep.
One
little guitar boy, he was like this. I'm like, do you need me to show it for you? Like, with his eyes open, I think he literally fell asleep. He was just like staring off into the world,
the void.
Yeah, and he just went. And I'm like, okay, buddy. He was like, I'm tired. I was like, I can see that.
You look
I
tired.
can see that. Hey, how about we switch it up? I'm like, put your guitar down and let's grab the ukulele and let's have a little bit of fun to wake you up just a little bit. It was, and I've had kids so tired they cry.
Oh my gosh. What? Did I say something?
No, I'm just so tired.
Been up since 6:30.
And now it's 6:30 in the evening and they still have to go home and do schoolwork and eat, and no thanks.
There are kids who are overwhelmed. We see there's all kinds of students,
and some of them will act out. So we balance. We know our kids well enough, and we get to know them during lessons, and we get to know everything about them. So whenever the ones that do act up, we are real quick to know exactly how to handle the situation and how to talk to them and how to talk them down, or to say, you know what, maybe
time out.
This isn't for you just yet. Yeah.
So there you go, Tracy.
Yeah.
Great questions. Thank you so much. And that's it. Final question.
It's the final question
of the day. So, thank you guys so much. If please leave your comments below. As I say, if you have a question for next week, please type it below in the comment section of this video, and we'll try to answer that next week. Don't leave a question in an Ask RNA that we shot 3 months ago.
Please don't.
Because, you can, but it's not going to get answered, right? It's got to be whatever the current Ask RNA, most recent Ask RNA.
It might get answered, like in typed
I might
out,
type it, maybe.
But we won't be able to.
We won't film an answer for it. So, do that. What is our secret hashtag of the day?
I don't know. I think Nicholas should be the hashtag of the day.
He should be the hashtag?
He should tell you what the hashtag
of the day Nicholas should tell me the hashtag of the day.
Yes.
Okay. You look different. I know I do. So we got to have a secret hashtag of the day. That tells us how many of you people made it to the end of this video. What do you mean, you people? How many of our viewers, if you've made it to the end of this video, which is quite lengthy, we're going to type in the secret hashtag of the day, and we'll know that you actually watched the whole video. We love to know that. So we need a special hashtag of the day. What do you think it should be, Nicholas?
I think hashtag Texas Ranger.
Hashtag Texas Ranger. Okay, because if you mess with Texas, Chuck Norris will kick you in the face. So yeah, hashtag Texas Ranger. Type that below. Not Rangers.
Just Ranger.
Texas Ranger. You only need one Texas Ranger to lay the smack down. All right, type that in the comments below, and we will know that you guys made it to the end of this video, which we super appreciate. Thank you so much. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and you like our channel. Give it a thumbs up. That helps out quite a bit. And hit the little bell. You'll be notified of all our videos when they get uploaded. And until then, keep the music alive.
Music needs you.
The music needs you. And you need the music. And we need to keep it alive for the next generation. Did we say it? I forgot. Is there anything else? No, that's it.
Don't forget it.
Don't forget it. See? There was something. Don't forget it.
Don't forget it.
Don't forget it.
Or the Ranger will get you.
And the Rangers will come for you.
The Ranger.
The Ranger. Walker. Texas Ranger. All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next video. So excited.